It's May 2026, and if you were looking at replacing your Fire TV stick or looking at originally buying a Thomson Streaming Box in the UK, then we're going to look at a great little alternative box that everyone seems to be recommending at the moment. So first of all, I would say if you've already got a Fire Stick or a Thomson Streaming Box and it's still doing everything you want it to, then keep it. There's no point of replacing your device if it's not broken. This video is really aimed at users in the UK and Europe that are finding they're no longer able to use their current boxes for the apps they need. Now, you've probably heard that Streamview, who were licensed to sell streaming boxes in the UK, Europe and Turkey, have filed for bankruptcy. So at the current time, it's difficult to source boxes which were previously being sold under the Thomson brand name. Thomson are trying to source a new licensee to continue supplying boxes in the UK, Europe and Turkey. However, we don't know how long this is likely to take, but what I would say is if you've already got a Thomson Streaming Box and it's working well for you, then again, just keep using it. So this is the Xiaomi TV Box S 3rd generation 4K Ultra HD. Let's have a look at the specifications compared to the Fire TV Stick 4K Max 2nd generation. So as we can see, the Xiaomi has one of the latest Amlogic S905 X5M processors with an ARM Mali G310 version 2 graphical processing unit, which outperforms the MediaTek in the Fire TV Stick in CPU speed, GPU power, memory bandwidth, AI capability and overall efficiency. In both devices the RAM is the same, however the storage is double that of the Fire TV Stick 4K Max 2nd generation in the Xiaomi box. The maximum video resolution and picture formats supported are the same on both devices, as is the audio support. The Xiaomi runs Google TV Android 14 and also has Google Assistant. With a Bluetooth voice remote, you can send commands to the device directly from your armchair. And the Xiaomi device is made by SDMC, who also make the ONN and Thomson boxes. Don't forget to like this video, share it and subscribe to my channel. Doing these 3 things help us make more great videos for you. Okay, so what have we got? So we've got the Xiaomi box itself, and let's just have a look on the back of it there. You have got a USB socket, an HDMI socket and a power. There's nothing else really on here. Underneath, you've just got this ring, which is part of the plastic. You've got the remote control just there, an HDMI cable, and the power cable here. Now, if you're in the UK, it is only a 2-pin power cable or power supply socket. So you will need one of these, a 2-pin to 3-pin socket, which basically means you can just plug it in there and it converts from a 2-pin to a 3-pin. You've also got some little manual here, which really all it does is it just tells you how to plug the device in and that it needs connecting to your Wi-Fi. And then all you've got is these regulations just here. And then you've got another booklet which just gives you the addresses and contact details of all of the Xiaomi offices around the world. Now, one thing I did notice here, the lack of AAA batteries for the remote control. Every other device I've bought has come with batteries. This hasn't. It's not a showstopper, but just to let you know, if you're in the UK, then make sure that you've got one of these adapters to be able to convert, because a lot of the time these have been supplied with 2-pin sockets. Some people have been lucky and got a 3-pin socket. And also make sure that you've got 2 AAA batteries to go in the remote control as well. So I've set up the device and loaded a couple of apps. Being in the UK, I could install ITVX, Channel 4, Channel 5 and You directly from the built-in Play Store. The BBC iPlayer, however, I had to side that onto the device from downloader code 21203. Out of the box, the storage space on this was 26 gigabytes. However, I've loaded a couple of apps on here, so it has gone down a little bit, but not by much. If I go down here to available, there you go, 25 gig out of the 32 gig that come pre-installed with the device. The box supports an external USB device, and I can plug that in to the back of the box. This is formatted to FAT32, and it can go up to, I believe, 512 gigabytes. And when I plug in the device, there you go, it asks what is on the device, whether we want to use it as a general USB, photos for viewing photos, watching videos or listening to music. As I said earlier, the device runs on Google TV, and it actually is running Android OS TV version 14. The TV's interface itself is nice and quick. Loading apps is an absolute pleasure. If I go into downloader, as you'll see here, there you go, downloads pretty quick. So let's do a speed test on this. It runs Wi-Fi 6, this box, but unfortunately my router isn't Wi-Fi 6, it's only Wi-Fi 5. Now I've got a gigabit connection, but like I say, I don't expect to get the full gigabit on here simply because my router is an older router and it just doesn't support the full benefits of Wi-Fi 6. But I'm getting 250.15 of a download, and I imagine the upload is going to be pretty much the same. Now, as you can see at the top there, that supports SD, HD, 4K and 8K, so I'm not going to have any trouble streaming absolutely anything. I think at the current time, the thing that requires the most download or most bandwidth is Apple TV, which is 35 megabits, and I'm getting 250 to this box, so it will easily play anything you throw at it. A couple of extra apps that are thrown in with this. One is Show Me TV, and that does actually work in the UK, although I can't show you that at the moment simply because it will start playing television. Let's just give it a try actually. There we go. It's not playing anything at the moment, but if I come out that quickly, let's just escape that and exit. So we've also got Patchwall, which aggregates content from multiple streaming apps and live TV channels into a single unified view to provide highly personalized content and recommendations. So let's just have a look at the remote control. So I'm going to make this a bit bigger. And as you can see there, we've got on the remote control, we've got the power button. That can be set up to turn the TV on and off. You've got the volume control. That again can be set to control the volume on your TV. We've got the Google Assistant button. So let's just show you that in action. I can ask it to do various things. So if I push that button and say, open ITVX.
Opening ITVX.
And there we go, it's now opening it. So other buttons we've got on the remote is the Show Me TV button, which takes you into the Show Me TV app. You've got the back button there and the home button. And you've got some sort of loaded buttons there, Netflix, Prime Video, YouTube Video, and another one here called Apps, which is great. If I push Apps, let's just bring you back onto the screen. And there you go. That actually gives you all of your apps in a clean advert-free interface. So I do like that. I do like that, not having the apps intertangled with other sort of adverts and apps that you really probably don't need. Now, I've got to say, the remote control is probably the Show Me TV box's biggest letdown. For one, the buttons are loud. When you push them, they click. Also, the button layout isn't great compared to, say, the Fire TV. If you've had the Fire TV, then you're liable to get things a little bit mixed up. So the back button is in the middle where the home button is on the Firestick, and the home button is on the right, where the 3 horizontal lines is. So it's, I don't know, I can't get used to it. There's also a lack of a settings button, which obviously you do have on the Firestick remote there, settings, and on the ONN boxes and Thomson boxes, you've also got a settings button. You've also got on the ONN boxes and Thomson, you've got an app button there that you can basically assign virtually any app to that button to load it when you push it. So there's a lack of that. But saying that, the remote control has got that simple look. It's very refined, just really, I suppose, got the buttons that you need. One other thing I've noticed it is lacking compared to the Firestick remote is the fast forward and rewind button and the play pause button, although in most cases the play pause can be used as this middle button on the remote there, so that's not a massive problem. So overall, yes, I think this is a brilliant box, a brilliant replacement for the Firestick. It's got a better CPU, better graphics, more storage, and price-wise, at the moment, I think on Amazon, this is about £70. The biggest letdown, like I say, is the remote control, the noisy remote control, and perhaps the lack of a few buttons that I'd expect on there. And also, it's a shame that you can't get the BBC iPlayer from the store, but like I say, at the current time, it can be loaded on there from 21203. So if you've got any other suggestions as of May 2026 for a box that's available in the UK, that would be a good replacement for the Firestick, or if you're unable to get any of the Thomson boxes at the moment, a good sort of replacement for those two. Let us know in the comments down below, or hit me up on X at CWTEK.